Hello, welcome to my meditation. My name is Deborah Baker, and I am delighted to be with you for this short period of time. I'm checking my watch so that I make sure I don't keep you too long. We'll be here about 20 minutes or so. So let's just settle in and enjoy this time together. I congratulate you for setting this time aside for yourself, for taking care of yourself. So congratulate yourself and give yourself credit for the self-care that you are doing right now. So we always start with 3 nice deep breaths, trying to make the exhale a little bit longer than the inhale. So let's begin with that. And another. And one more. And I heard a talk over the weekend about, and during the talk there was a comment that the person was talking about God, and someone said, try substituting the word love for the word God. And so when we start our meditations, I like to think of allowing infinite spirit energy, God energy, in to our bodies to help them to relax. So let's imagine allowing infinite love energy. And so let's begin with the tops of our heads, and allow just infinite love energy, healing. I like to think of it as pink light. Pink to me is the color of the light of love. So just see this pink light first surrounding your head and just sending all of these messages of unconditional love into your head, into your thoughts, breaking through any self-criticism, so that what you are thinking and feeling is positive thoughts and loving thoughts toward yourself. You start with yourself and you naturally expand to loving thoughts and positive thoughts toward other people and the rest of the world. So just feel that pink and white light just filling up your head, and then your neck and shoulders, allowing your shoulders to sink down and your neck to grow a little longer. And then allow it to fill your heart space and your shoulders and your upper back, all through your chest, and then your midsection and your all the way down middle back, sides, middle, tummy, and then all the way down into your pelvis, also down your arms, all the way to the tips of each finger and thumb, all the way down your legs to the tips of your toes and the soles of your feet. And just allow that love energy to sink into each of your cells, so that it releases anything that's not loving, and it replaces it with just unconditional love and acceptance. And so if you've been following my meditations, you know that last week we did a little bit of work with the tuning forks, and I didn't realize that my little space heater at my feet was making a kind of a whirring noise, and so you couldn't really hear the tuning forks as well as I might have liked. And so I'm going to use them this week without that background noise, and maybe we can hear them a little better. And I also think I figured out where on my camera you can hear it best. So I'm just going to start with a moment with the tuning forks, and just a moment to settle in and allow that infinite love energy to fill your heart space, to fill your body, every cell in your body. You can't see it, but I have the tuning forks. by the camera. And so what I promised last week was that we were going to have some time to generate and create joy and happiness for ourselves. We've been talking about how we process, how we express, how we experience emotions is largely learned. And that includes happiness and joy. And we can also expand or diminish emotions with our thoughts. So if something bad happens and you focus on it and focus on it and focus on it, you make yourself miserable. Whereas if something good happens and you focus on it and focus on it, your joy expands. And it reminds me of when my dad was getting older, we had a surprise birthday party for him for his 75th birthday. And he seemed disappointed that he didn't get to experience the anticipation of the party. So for his 80th, we allowed him to be in on it, and his joy just expanded and expanded because not only did he have the joy of the event, but he had all of that anticipation. And so all of those thoughts of all the wonderful things that were going to happen at his party and the people that he was going to see that he hadn't seen in a long time just added to his joy. So let's settle in a little more deeply and let go. Allow Infinite Spirit to come in and release any of the heavier emotions. Any anger, frustration, sorrow, fear, shame, confusion. Just allow that to release. And think about something that makes you happy, or maybe someone. And as I was thinking about this meditation, my guides reminded me that it's a good idea to surround yourself with things that make you happy. And in my house, there are lots and lots of pictures of family. And, you know, I am blessed with a large family, and I'm so grateful. And just having their pictures around and seeing them, and then having the grandchildren come over and name them all, it just brings me joy. So I suggest that you have pictures around or objects around that bring you joy. Surround yourself with things that bring you joy. But right now, let's focus during this meditation on things that bring us joy. So whether it's a person or a memory or perhaps something coming up, I know that just thinking about the weather getting warmer and the trees and the flowers blooming gives me a lift. So whatever it is, think about something that brings you joy. And we'll take a little moment to just allow it to kind of come to you. And then expand on it. Allow in your thoughts, expand on it. So for me, for those of you who've been to my home, I have a garden instead of a lawn in the front of my house. And so an exercise for me could be about just kind of mentally going through my garden and picturing what's going to bloom first. The hyacinths, the daffodils, the tulips. Imagining how wonderful they smell. So bring your 5 senses into this exercise. I have some new grandbabies, and I love to just hold them and breathe in their essence. And it's not really even something that is a conscious smell. It's not like baby powder or something. It's just that their essence. Or think about someone that you love, and when you smell, their perfume, it comes back to you. My sister says whenever she smells cinnamon, she thinks of our grandmother. Think about a happy smell or a smell attached to your happy thought. And then picture yourself smiling in the middle of it. Feel your heart lift. Imagine the sounds. The sounds of someone saying your name. The sound of someone singing or playing music. Birds. Whatever it may be, imagine the sounds. If you're thinking about an occasion, like your birthday, think about your birthday cake. I have a signature birthday cake, and I can tell you right now what it tastes like. Of course, it's many, many layers of chocolate. So just imagine bringing in all 5 of your senses. What does it feel like? Sometimes in my garden I go out and I touch the petals of the roses because they're so soft. And when I had my beagle, I used to like to rub behind his ears, and his fur was so soft. So just think about all of those senses. And the more you focus on what brings you joy, the more your joy increases. Lost my watch. And just continue to focus on whatever it is that brings you joy. Think about it. And imagine opening your heart and feeling the joy, the love of the infinite, feeling God love you, and how wonderful that is. On one of my birthdays, and I think I may have mentioned this in a meditation before, while my family was singing happy birthday to me, I took a moment and I just looked around and I made eye contact with each person. And I just took in that unconditional love that I felt from each of them. And so I want you to feel unconditional love right now. Open your heart up, whether it's coming from God through me, through your family, just directly from God to you, from love itself. Open your heart and experience love. Allow yourself to know that even if there are moments when you don't feel loved, believe me, you are. You are far more loved than you could ever know. I'm certain of this. I have no doubts about it. So I'm going to hit the tuning forks once more, and we're just going to have a moment of silence for you to just think about joy and happiness and love, and feeling love in the midst of joy, and joy in the midst of love. So you have an assignment for this week, and that is to find some new things to put in your living space that remind you of how loved you are and that make you happy. I have this little candle behind me, and one of my grandsons comes over, and every time he comes over, since he was just starting to walk, he would take the lid off of it and smell it, and you could just see it brought him joy. So, if you've got a candle that you like to smell, put it out where you can see it. Put something out that reminds you of someone that loves you, or someone that you love. Put a picture out. Put a picture out of yourself. It reminds you to love you. Because you are infinitely lovable. And I invite you to say this with me, or to think it. I am whole and perfect, exactly as I am. I am lovable. I am loving. I am love itself. Take a nice deep breath and just take in all the love your heart can hold. And release it out into the world, knowing in the next breath you take in more and more and more love, because you are worthy of it. And so from the infinite presence in me, I honor and recognize the infinite presence in you. Have a wonderful week. I will see you next week. Namaste.